Hello. I'm up in the loft of the house because I remembered that I'd got two panels that I bought, 40 plus years ago. This is rear quarter for 100E. You can kind of get the shape. There's the petrol filler there. But it has a wheelarch section on it, look. That's the rear for the left hand side. Now that's good because that part is missing on the left hand side. You will observe that I've cut off the lower part because I used that as a repair panel years ago. And on the other side, hang on a minute, I've got cobwebs in my hair. On the other side there is a smaller piece of wheelarch, and I cut off a part of the wheelarch, the part that curves down, to repair a car again years ago. So I'll take these down to the garage and I'll cut off the rest of the wheelarch parts. These are like original factory service replacement panels from donkeys years ago. I bought them from a scrapyard. But you can't argue that that is the correct shape. Okay, jolly good. I will sort these out and I'll see you back in the garage then. Back in a bit. Hello, I've got my two repair panels. Unfortunately I can only use a very small part of them. I've already used a chunk out of that one and a piece down here years ago. But I'm going to cut that wheelarch off there, which will give me the shape for sort of some of this, and I'm going to cut the piece off there, which will, well, not correct, it will start me in this direction like this. This is all completely cobbled up. There's no attachment between the inner and the outer anywhere along here. This isn't joined up at all. Okay, righto, back in a bit then. What I was supposed to be doing is tidying up. Look, I'm starting to tidy up. I've just finished this sill job and I'm very pleased with it, but I'm kind of casting around now as to what to do next. So I'm going to have a look at these things here. Okay, back in a bit. I cut those two pieces off and I've put the one piece behind, behind the panel, and this piece in front of. And yeah, okay. I'm really worried about massive amounts of distortion. What I'm also really worried about is that there's nothing here. This is all gone. It all needs fabricating, including the bottom part here, which I didn't have to do on the other side. Plus, what do I do with this sill? Do I just leave it? It is just about holding together. The arguably it could just stay in place. The inner sill's not great. I could just leave this and say, well, it's as it was. Not as good as the other side, which is all new, but it's not, well, I don't know. That's had a patch. That needs a patch. So what do? Do you just patch it? Or do you strip it apart and completely renovate the side of the car like I did on the other side? Well, I'm not feeling particularly inspired on this part. I don't really know what I can do to sort that out. The good thing about these pieces is they came off the press at Ford's. So the question is, where's the best place to make a splice? Is it up here, or would it be down here in the curve? Okay, all right. I'm not really digging it, so I'm not going to push myself. If I don't feel like working on it, I'm not going to do it. I'll do something else. Okay, but I've got the parts anyway. I'll put them in the boot and stop worrying about them. Maybe I could just look at doing this part, but really I know how to do that because that's a copy of what I did on the other side, so that's not a mystery to me. What could be a mystery to me is this area here. I mean, it doesn't look good, does it? But that is an example of what the repairs were like back in the day. This sill has been replaced, and I think they did it the same as they did the other side, where they welded a piece on, welded the sill to a piece of metal, which they then welded along there, and the original piece is underneath. Yeah, I might take this trim piece out to see what we're dealing with here, and we'll see how well the sill is attached on this side. I suspect it's attached with a tack weld there, and that's it, and a tack weld there, possibly, certainly a tack weld there, and possibly another one here, and they've made a bit of an attempt at a flare there. It's not too bad, to be honest. Feeling it, it would probably pass an MOT. I don't know about one or two areas other though, but they still might. Okay, I'm not showing anything new. This is all known stuff. It's just that I've been concentrating on the other side. I might get underneath and have a look around. Back in a bit. This actually, I'm fighting against the other light, but if you don't go too mad, this isn't too bad here. That's, you know, a hole, a drain hole, probably from the production line when they, you know, dip the body or something to allow the stuff to drain out. This is a little bit, that's a little bit crusty just there. So maybe a little localized patch there, and a little localized patch here, right by the petrol drip. That'll be handy, won't it? So what it might be a case of is cut the floor out above here, let a piece in, the same as I did the other side, and weld it in, because this bit here is gone as well. But I'll probably do slightly more localized and leave this bit, because this is that triangular piece that I had to fabricate on the other one, and it's actually okay. Okay, I'm not going to go smashing at it with a pickaxe. I'm just going to leave it. Leave it. It's not terrible. It's okay. Amazingly, it's okay. This here has been kind of poorly repaired. So what I might do is a repeat of this repair. Really, I ought to do it like the other side, but you know, I'm kind of burnt out now. Having done the other side, I do feel burnt out. I really do feel burnt out, actually. I'm just going to leave this. It ain't great. Well, it ain't good at all. It's crap. Maybe just cut it off. Cut it off and just put a localised repair above. It's really hard though to put new stuff against old, and it's far easier to just put all new stuff in from one end to the other. and minimise the interface between the new and the old. So really I should cut this off. Okay, I'm just kind of rambling now because I'm trying to work out what I need to do. Put some gloves on for a start. Yeah, okay. Let's get that trim piece out on the inside and see what we're dealing with on the quarter. So, okay, I can either fix this, I can either fix this, or this rather, or I could fix the rear quarter up there and the wheelarch area. I think the quarter and wheelarch, to be honest, are the worst parts on the car now, aren't they, if you think about it? The quarter and the wheelarch, this is me, how I come to a decision, isn't it? The quarter and the wheelarch are the worst parts on the car because the wheelarch is a lot worse than the other side, so is new work that I haven't done before. Alright, okay, I'll decide what I'm going to do then, and I'll bring you back when there's something to show. Back in a bit. Hello. Right, that panel came out okay. What have we got down here then? Oh, okay. What have we got down here? Well, there's the new sill, just in mid-air. This is the sill, the new sill. Here. This is the quarter. These are rivets where there's a thing fitted onto the quarter. The other side is slightly better. So basically everything needs rebuilding. Oh, sorry about the camera angles. From down there all the way over the wheelarch, all the way through to the back here. The best thing to do is get rid of everything that shouldn't be there and just get back to original metal, no matter if the original metal is still really bad. This isn't original metal, but it's, you know, it's all we've got at the moment, unless I put a sill on this side, but I'm tempted to just stick with this because it's not too bad, to be honest. You know, a new sill could come, you know, in 2 or 3 years' time, let's say. Let's get this piece of metal off here and let's get the grinder and see what's going on here, because that's a piece of metal that's been let in. Okay, righto. Back in a bit then. I'll bring you back when there's more to show. I want to try and establish where this is supposed to fit. So what I've just done, I didn't record it because I needed 2 hands. I held this against this arch so that it, you know, it was its mirror image like that. And I put a mark there. I then measured with my tape measure from the door gap there, from the opening, back to this rear edge of the mark, and it's 25 3/4 to there. So I just measured from this door opening back to there and put a mark. So this goes there. And I suppose what I could do, if I go to the other side and measure from, you know, let's say 1 inch back from there down to there, let's say, you know, this corner, I can I can set the height then, can't I? Because I mean, it feels like it wants to fit down there, but you never know. It could be supposed to be like up there or down a bit further or something. But that looks kind of right. But, you know, just double checking really, sanity checks that what you're doing is right. I took off the piece that was here, and this was shiny black paint underneath. And there was filler here, which I've ground off with a wire wheel. This appears to have been fabricated here. I don't think it's original metal. I think it's something that somebody's made. And this is obviously something that somebody's made. But this curve, oops, there's a sharp bit. This curve isn't right, because you can see here there is a hint of the outer edge of the lip. In other words, you know, this curve, and there's just a hint of it there. So they should have come further forward and then down with a sharper radius, almost like a reverse. But what I can do, I can get I can take my piece there and put it there, clamp it on or screw it on or tack it on or weld it on even, and then take a template from the other side and make a piece that will go around here. I can then offer the other piece in and get as much as I can of the original metal into here, and then start making up the correct curve. And then what I was thinking, maybe, I mean, I'll lay a straight edge along here and see what sort of crown is in it. What I was thinking was, this piece of metal here might have the same curve. So I could cut a piece from here, form an edge on it, and then use it to patch in either that piece or that piece, whichever's better. This today is just a little bit of an exploratory session. I hadn't really come out with any set plan, so I've sort of followed my instinct and zoned in on what is possibly the worst part of the car as it stands today. I got a check dimension from the other side, and I'm just coming over. I've just come over here and I'm just looking at it from a distance to see if it looks right. I know it sounds daft, but I've just adjusted it very slightly, and I think it does look better. I kind of said to myself it's looking slightly high before, and I've just lowered the back end probably about 3/16, about 5mm, and it does look slightly better. That's somewhere to start from, isn't it? Okay, right, I'll have a bit of a ponder. Back in a bit. Hello. I don't know if I've bit off a bit more than I can chew, but what I've tried to do here is increase the radius there, rather decrease the radius, make it a tighter bend. So I've kind of stretched this part here, hammered it around for quite a while, split it up the middle, and I've got that shape there, which is kind of more or less leading into what I want. Yeah, I suppose I do need a template, don't I, off the other side, because this has slipped down from where I had it, because it's hard to clamp. Although the shape of that one to that one looks okay. Yeah, I need to do a lot more measuring, don't I, and templating. The shape as it was completely wrong. There's nothing worse than having the arch the wrong shape. It's got to look absolutely bang on right, hasn't it? Let me work on it a bit more then, and I'll bring it back when there's more to show. I had a go at welding that there, and it was not very good at all, really. And then what I've realised is, because of the way this is pressed, this metal here is very thin. You know, there's a stretching action, isn't it, when it gets pressed? The metal isn't very thick anyway, and it's even thinner because of this. That said, it's not a bad representation of the shape. It's hard for me to clamp it on, actually. I know this is just going to end in disaster. It's just not going to work very well at all, I don't think. I wonder if I should have cut them right up here. Oh, I don't know. Too late. Okay. Well, you know, you can but do your best. You try your best, and if it don't work, be prepared to sort of cut it up and do it again. Okay. Righto. Anyway, that's just a little look-see at a job. I suppose the other technique is to sort of build something that's a little bit like it, but make sure that everything is below the actual surface of what you want to end up with, and give it the final shape with some filler. But hey, what's the fun in that? Righto, I'm going to leave it at that because it's late in the evening now. I can't really do, like, I can't do any grinding or anything, so take care and I'll catch you on the next one. Hello, welcome to Mart's Garage. I kind of woke up thinking about this morning. I don't know why. Mainly because it was the last thing I did before I turned in for the night. But I decided to basically just do what I can here with this piece. But what I was thinking was to make the join along here. I'll have to come up a little bit there. In other words, try and leave as much metal here as possible, because this metal has a curve to it. So this metal will be less prone to deformation. So I'm going to start the job by trimming that and trimming this and get them offered together with a very small lap and get them welded together. Because once this is in, it will help stiffen up the panel. Get your edges sorted out. That's what I've learned by watching different people. I'll do some trimming then, and then I'll come back and have a go at welding it in. And I'll do the same there. I'll leave as much of the original as possible. Once I've got this piece in place, I can kind of build forward. Okay. Again, don't come to me for body work tips and tricks, because I ain't got any. I don't know what I'm doing. Let me make a start though. Back in a bit. Finally had to give up on my gas bottle there. I couldn't undo it. I've had to take that off and put a brake adjuster spanner on it. I'll have to think of something. I've got my piece in place. It kind of fits round there, and it kind of fits round there. Everything's a bit flexible, so I'm going to tack it where it touches along here, and then tack it where it touches there, and then just kind of squeeze this together a little bit and put some tacks on. I think there's a slight dent here in the piece underneath, but let's get this at least tacked together. Shall I put the camera on? Could do, couldn't I? because there's a fairly thick flange underneath and there's an inner piece, it's hard to kind of get round the back to press up on the piece behind there. I've put a lever down inside that's pushing out about there, so I'll move it forward now to about here if I can get it in place. Okay, right. It's not too bad. Just about not every inch, but you know, every inch and a little bit. I think that's probably about as good as I'm going to get it. Okay, I'll leave it at that for now and bring you back when I get to the next bit. Hello, I had to take a little break, but I've just come back out and tacked this in place. I trimmed it down. I hope I've got the alignment okay. I thought I'd got that corner lined up, but it's not, so that's the most important thing, because that's the piece you can see. So I might just cut these and just rejoin it there. I'm hoping it's kind of a bit of a bow. No, I think it's okay. And what I need to do now is to bring this curve down, following a more vertical line here and then curving into there. Or if I've got it wrong, I'll have to trim this and then move the whole curve over. Okay, it's a start, isn't it? It has stiffened the wing up actually. That's stiffer now than it was. Still got some flex, but you know, it's a lot stiffer now than it was. Okay, righto. Be interesting to see what that's like with a, you know, once it gets fully welded and a skim of filler. Yeah, okay. We're not going for concourse here, are we? We're not looking for Pebble Beach. And what you have to say to yourself is, well, what did it look like before? I mean, it was dreadful before, and it's the car, you know, was still sort of, it didn't look too bad. But this was really bad. Okay, still quite bad. It's like different levels of bad, isn't it? How bad is it? Okay. I don't know what to tackle first. To try and tackle this bit and then put that piece on, or should I be looking at replacing this part? Maybe I could actually. Maybe I could look at replacing this area and try and build some of that curve into it. I just don't know, to be honest. Okay, but anyway, those two pieces which were cut from the original Ford service repair panels are in place. And I don't know if you have seen where I led up to this, but this is where I've curved this one down more, because this one was the same as that one, which is a more gentle curve. Okay, I think once this gets joined to that, it will all become more robust. Okay, leave it with me and I will try and work out what I want to do next. Hello, I put some extra welds in between. it's not welding very well, so I think I might change the tip on my welding thing. But I've just went around the other side, and I've made a template of the opening, sort of in this area here. So there's my template laid in. So this curve is roughly correct. It's not so far off that I need to redo it. So that's pretty good, really. And that there, now that I've hammered it a bit, is more or less in the right area. But I can kind of do a nicer version than this. So yeah, so that's, if you squint a bit, that's kind of the shape. I will use the shrinker and stretcher and make an angle piece that will come up here, blend into that, give me this face here, and then just the very start of a, you know, a little 1/8 inch sort of fold over to state the width, like I did on the other side. Then I'll repair this panel here, possibly using a donor piece, maybe using a donor piece or new metal, but I think a donor piece might have a little bit of shape in it, and then I can blend the two together. Okay, right, okay, yeah, I can see a way forward now. So yeah, it's looking. Oh, I reclamped that along that face and put some weld down there, so I'm hoping that's okay. I've looked at it like from over there and over there, and it does look okay. It looks like it's in line. Yeah, happier with something that looks like a proper fender lip. That doesn't look quite right, but hey, that's what filler is for. Let's leave it at that for now. Take care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers then, bye.